Asa! Hey guys, what's happening? Neil back once again with another Hindsight review for you. Yes, this time I'm going to do a spoilerific review solo about Cobra Kai Season 4. And it was glorious. Yes, wonderful. Nostalgia, bringing back so many cool characters, while pushing some of the characters we already know as well. So, man, I think this was the best season yet. Now, yes, I am going to spoil the shit out of season 4, okay? So if you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen even the premise in the thumbnail on Netflix, then go watch it. Go watch season 4. Binge watch it if you can. It's 10 episodes. It's very addictive. And then come back. Because I know you'll come back and then want to hear this review. So, yeah, it's fantastic. I think I've said that, and one of the main things about this season that really brought a huge smile to my face was the return of Terry Silver, played by Thomas Ian Griffiths, and he is amazing. He was so good in Karate Kid Part 3, and now he's back. Yes. It's so fantastic. The show does actually focus on several characters, though. It's not just him, of course. That was just one of the main hooks, to get us all back into it. But the show really does focus on Tori, who really comes into her own here. And the same with Sam as well, Daniel LaRusso's daughter. Kenny Payne is a new character that's introduced. And we get to see kind of a different side of Kreese this time around as well. But as always, Johnny Lawrence, Sensei Lawrence, he's my favorite character, no matter what. So I will need to talk about the story here. So here come the spoilers, okay? So we got Miyagi-Do, and we got Sensei Lawrence's brand new Eagle Fang karate dojo, and they need to join forces, reluctantly, in order to take down Kreese. They need to stop Kreese from, taking over, the whole world with karate, with, Cobra Kai, basically, and also from winning the tournament, because there's an All-Valley tournament, which winds up being the climax of this show. But in the meantime, before the tournament and everything, the story does surround certain characters and what allegiances they've decided to take. Certain characters have gone from Cobra Kai to Miyagi-Do, and some have gone from Miyagi-Do to Cobra Kai. So that's really cool to see kind of like different people on different sides, like Eli, aka Hawk. Obviously he was, first he was the guy that was picked on, he was the bullied, and then he was the bully, and now he's been the bullied again, but then redemption and vindication for that character. I'll get into that in a moment. There's too many characters to talk about. Miguel's gone through this whole thing where he's recovered and everything, but what happens with this character in this season isn't really that interesting. Same with Dimitri, and there's a few other characters that I don't really need to get into. I'm going to mainly focus on what the show seems to be focusing on, which is Tori and Sam, and certainly Terry Silver as well. They're the best parts of this season, I thought. It really did focus on them quite a bit. A little bit of Robbie Keane as well, who's now with Cobra Kai. But mostly it does seem to focus on those main characters. So the best thing about this series, I think, since the beginning for me, has been Johnny Lawrence's ignorance of PC woke culture. There's a scene where he actually is given some advice on how to be woke and everything, and goes, "Okay, don't worry, I'm awake." And he's like, "No, it's woke." And he's like, "Oh, sorry." So funny, and he just does not give a shit. He's so old school. He does it in a very funny but not really insulting way. It's just a blissfully ignorant way, and it's been this running joke, throughout the series. So I love it. That's one of my favorite things about this show for sure. Obviously, in terms of the story, obviously Johnny and Daniel, they try to join forces and they try each other's styles and things, and things don't work out. So they wind up all just splitting up and going on their own. And then there's this All-Valley tournament, of course, and there's a women's division and a men's division. And what winds up happening here is that Eli beats Robbie in the finals of the men's division. And also Tori winds up defeating Sam in the women's division. And they're all very fun fights to watch. I thought the whole tournament is very exciting, very, very well done. I've had, I have heard some criticisms about the fighting in this show, and there's times where it's kind of like, well, okay, yeah, we know it's choreographed, and it's just kind of like meh, 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 move, counter, move, counter, move, but whatever. But it doesn't really kind of bother me too much, if it's kind of like, well, obviously, it's all choreographed, obviously. But there are some fights that are more convincing than others. Let's just put it that way. But it's still good. It's mostly awesome, especially near the end. And big shocking reveal at the end, very end, which is that Tori, after winning the trophy, she overhears Terry Silver paying off the ref. Was it the ref or the judge? One or the other, but he bribed somebody, and it seems like she, didn't maybe not deserve that victory. It's a tainted victory for her, even though she's a really great fighter. She's very ferocious, she's a very aggressive character, and she's supposed to be an antagonist, although I see her character switching over to, the good guy's side in season 5. I think that's a pretty safe assumption. We'll see what happens with the consequences of these characters. If Sam loses, she's really disappointed, and maybe she'll go bad next year. I don't know. They keep switching sides, Stingray is back, which is awesome, and he winds up becoming rejected by John Kreese, and comes back and finds Terry Silver there, who beats the crap out of him, and then frames John Kreese for it and has John Kreese taken away. So Terry Silver's just like super evil, super slimy, just like he was in Karate Kid Part 3, but it's a wonderful kind of just aloof arrogance from this guy. And he's a really great fighter, too. He's like one of the best fighters. I think maybe Mr. Miyagi, who's sadly passed away in, character and in real life. He, Pat Morita, rest in peace. But he was the best fighter, certainly. But Terry Silver might have been second best to Miyagi. He's so good. Such a great fighter. Beats the crap out of Sensei Lawrence, and Kreese wasn't crazy about that. Kreese doesn't change, he doesn't turn a whole new leaf, but Kreese is starting to soften up a little bit, and Terry Silver takes him out, he frames him, has him taken away to jail. Woo! And at the very end of season 4, Daniel LaRusso, he winds up basically recruiting Chosen. Yes, the bad guy from Karate Kid Part 2, that's right, who was also in season 3, when LaRusso went to Japan. And, it was wonderful stuff in Japan that they did in season 3. But that's great. We're going to get more Chosen in season 5. Oh, I can't wait. That's so awesome. And LaRusso and Chosen joining forces, that seems to be kind of a theme of this year is, like reluctant, friends, like frenemies, keep your enemies closer than your friends. Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, right? Yeah, something like that. But anyway, so yeah, I love this season, clearly. Love seeing Silver becoming obsessed with karate again and obsessed with winning, and he'll do anything to win, clearly. My God, he's a scumbag. The character progression of several characters is good. There's always a little bit of cheese, but it's a tasty cheese, and I love that cheese. It's that wonderful, good nostalgia. They just know what they're doing. It helps that Machio and Zabka are all, producers, of course. But everyone behind this show it does it with such a love for the original film. And don't think I missed that last instrumental track, because the soundtrack is amazing, but that last instrumental track is actually Def Leppard Switch 625, which usually follows Bringing on the Heartbreak. So that's an old school 80s, like 40 years ago, thing. And I caught that, and I love that instrumental track, and I was like, oh, this show knows me. This show knows me. So, yeah, I'm just going to give the show a 9 out of 10, straight up. Best season so far for Cobra Kai. It gets better and better, and it's not just because of the nostalgia. I think the show is very, very entertaining, and I love the conflicts, even if it is a little corny sometimes. I don't care. It's, it's wonderful. So, yeah, 9 out of 10 from me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this spoilerific hindsight review. This is Neil. Hope you're all having a great 2022. And we'll see you next time. Peace.